Hi everyone, this is my video about what's wrong with Megalopolis and not a goddamn thing. Oh my god, I love this movie so much. Funny thing, every single person I know who saw it, except for one, also loved it. And I went to go see it a second time, or I looked up the show times, and it's not in the theaters anymore. It was only, well, originally it was only going to be in for a week. Um, and then some of the local theaters kept it for a second week. Luckily, I saw it a few days ago, but it's gone. And man, just I mean, it's not going to be the same seeing it on a tablet or a cell phone or even a good setup at home. Like I saw it in a theater with the well, I had the reclining seats, but I didn't discover they were reclining till like 30 minutes before the movie ended. But I was very relaxed for the last 30 minutes. I was like, this is nice, but it's kind of, I don't know, kind of stiff. So this is, on my other channel, I talk about like, as a viewer, it doesn't matter if something makes money or not, but this one's very, very interesting money wise, which is actually kind of part of the story. So, Megalopolis is a project that Francis Ford Coppola, I'm gonna say Coppola, has been not. I saw a recent interview. He's like, I haven't been working on this for 40 years. I've been noodling on it intermittently through a period of 40 years. But apparently there are notes going back to the, I think, early 80s. And he's quite old. He's in his 70s, although still sharp. And it reminds me of Martin Scorsese a lot in that way. Like, obviously, they're both older men, but mentally they're, I don't know, 39 years old, 40. Like, and it's very interesting because some of the movies I've seen with the most energy are by these old Italian men. Like, Wolf of Wall Street. I know that was like 10 years ago, but like, I can't think of any movie that has more energy and life. And again, Scorsese was, I think, late 60s when he made that. I believe Coppola is in his mid 70s. But this is a story about creators and creations and audiences and life in New York City and Rome and love and lust and family and legacy and now, it's funny. I keep mentioning Scorsese and Coppola, but they both came up at the same time. This is a movie that can only be made by an old man, but it also requires an old man who has youthful energy and hope and optimism. It also requires an old man who can sell his wineries for two-thirds of $1 billion. So, like I said, usually I say like the money thing has nothing to do with anything, like it doesn't matter. But it bummed me out because what I heard is that Coppola sold, oh geez, he's freaking 82. No, he's eight math. He's 85? Oh my god. Wish. I know he doesn't look great. Like nobody's like, oh, nobody goes to a plastic surgeon and says, "Can you make me look like Francis Ford Coppola?" At any age. Nobody says that, but wish that you had his energy. So he's freaking 85 right now. And he was like 82, 83 when he started filming this thing. So in 2021, he sold his Sonoma County wineries to merge his winery business with that of another Napa-based family company in an equity deal worth about $650 million. He then borrowed $200 million against his ownership stake in Delicato to fund Megalopolis for $120 million. He's doing fine. What I'm trying to say is, if you think he's going to be destitute and he's destroyed his family's future and there's going to be nothing in his will, he's fine. He's fine. I'm sure he's set it up so he can just default or declare bankruptcy for the 20th time. I was worried because I don't want an artist to be, well, I believe people should honor their debts. I don't want an artist to be destroyed by his art, and it's so good. And I mean, this thing flopped. You want to talk about like Joker 2 flopping? This is a $120 million movie that made $10 million internationally. Like, it is a flop of epic proportions financially. Creatively, it is, I would call it a masterpiece. Now, Francis Ford Coppola has been playing around with digital backgrounds. You know, he's friends with George Lucas. And he made a movie, I think it had Val Kilmer in it, and it looked terrible. It looked like worse than Spy Kids. Like, it was just awful. So whenever I heard about Megalopolis, I'm like, oh God, he's going to be doing those terrible digital backgrounds. It looks like shit. No, this looks like a $120 million movie. There are a couple of, I'll call them fantasy sequences. And yeah, that does look like Spy Kids with the really, really bad like digital backgrounds. But the rest of it, it's like practical sets. Everything has this kind of cinematic, golden aura to it for most of the movie. But oh my gosh! So like I said, it's like Rome mixed with New York City. So I have to. Usually, I just kind of wing it, but like I want to get these names correct because they are absolutely freaking amazing. Apparently, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff about this movie. But the main, there's names like Vesta, Sweetwater, Wow, Platinum. There it is. So you got Adam Driver as Caesar Catalina. Then the main character is Julia Cicero, the daughter of Mayor Cicero. Aubrey Plaza plays Wow Platinum. Shia LaBeouf as Claudio Pulcher. Lawrence Fishburne is Fundy Romaine. Uh, anyway, it's also one of those movies where like everyone says each other's names a lot, so you hear Wow Platinum like 20 times. So it's about this guy, Caesar Catalina, who is, how would I describe this? I mean, it reminds me of the Fountainhead, but like a funny version of the Fountainhead. So you have Caesar Catalina, and he invented this substance called megalon, which can do anything. But he's more in the Ayn Rand kind of like artist engineer with a lot of integrity. So he has a plan to redevelop New Rome using the substance megalon and his designs. And they're kind of cool, but they're also kind of terrible. Like, it looks like something that would be a World's Fair, and you're like, oh, that was cool. It's like, oh wait, the whole city looks like this forever. Shit. Um, but so it's weird because it's set in the present, it's set in the future, it's set in the past. But it's a story of him trying to create while being opposed by the mayor, who once prosecuted him. This is the mayor's daughter. If you're looking at her and you're like, she looks so familiar. She's in the Fast and the Furious, like the last like three movies. She has a much different haircut. So she's mixed. I interpreted her as looking Italian here, which obviously Giancarlo Esposito is half Italian, half black. I don't know what her heritage is. She's half black, half something else. I saw her as being white, but then when you realize that, you understand what I'm saying. She has more of a like an afro hairstyle in the Fast and Furious, so it's really obvious she's mixed black. But this one it wasn't. So like I was just like, I know her, I know her, I know her. She is really good, not just because she's beautiful and like most of the movie is about her. She's just a really good actress. So she's kind of there's a scene that's going viral on TikTok. It's like where he's like, go to the club, and he's kind of making fun of her for being a socialite, but there's more there than this. So this is, everyone's related somehow. I think this is his grandfather or his uncle. So this Shia LaBeouf is, and I saw a review that's like he just steals this movie. It is very much Adam Driver's movie, although it feels like she's more of the main character. but I mean every single scene he is in. It's a very showy. I know it doesn't look like from this. Oh, he's just like a regular guy. He's a maniac. He only looks like this like in the last few scenes. He's kind of reminds. It's funny. You get a lot of Bruce Wayne vibes from Caesar Catalina and from Claudio. What does he say? Pulcher for the culture. Um, Joker. This is major Joker vibes right here. So what's cool is it kind of feels like there's very much of a Gotham City. So there's a scene at the beginning. I didn't really know much about this beside Coppola spent a lot of money. It was flopping, and it had Adam Driver. So there's a scene at the beginning where it's like, it's very hard to describe. It's like a press conference, but it's on like those catwalks that they have in movie theaters. This whole movie's insane. But man, like I'm saying, 95% of the people I know who saw it, which wasn't a lot of people, they all loved it. There's something about it that even when it's completely crazy and it's kind of losing you, you admire it. Like it's like the way this man in his 80s just went for it and made his dream movie. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that it was done. So yeah, so it's at the beginning, like all these people, like Dustin Hoffman, I didn't know he was going to be in it. Several of these people have been canceled, and Coppola got canceled just as it was coming out. I don't think his, but I don't know. People don't really get canceled like they did like 5 years ago. Like you get canceled for like 2 weeks now, and then you just go back to normal. It used to destroy your life for several years, but now it's just like, oh, you're going to have a bad few weeks. But Dustin Hoffman's been canceled, so he's back. He's not in a major role. I got the feeling that he had other scenes that were cut. Aubrey Plaza. I mean, she's been around, obviously she's like 40. She's been around for 40 years, but in Hollywood, in entertainment for about, 10 or 15 years. And, when she started, she was the cute girl on that show on NBC. And then she was like, oh, she's on Portlandia. She's on this. She's on that. She's in drama. She isn't. People have said that there are no more stars, and there really aren't. Like, there are popular actors, but nobody's really a movie star anymore. Like Henry Cavill, he came close, but it just didn't happen. But I mean, just everything she does, everything. She can do drama, she can do comedy very well. She's great as a villain. She's very sexy. She's sexy in a way that it's funny. At one point, she's seducing Claudio, and she like turns around. She's like, "How does this dress make my ass look?" And there's like nothing there. She has like no ass, but she sells it like she's just got a badonk. And he does a really great job as well selling it. There is so much energy in this movie in a very natural, happy way. It feels like a movie that was fun to work on. He sold he borrowed against his stake. So he didn't spend his money. He borrowed against his money. And he's 85. He's probably going to croak, soon. So he doesn't care. He just wanted to make the movie that he always wanted to make. And he made it. And it's fucking awesome. This is one of those movies that they're going to bring back at like Alamo Drafthouse, that type of situation. When it comes out on, streaming in like 2 weeks, it's not going to be the same, man. Like it's fun, you can rent theaters, and it's not for a lot of money. You think it's going to be thousands of dollars? Certain times of the day, you can rent like a whole movie theater for like $200. This is the type of thing I would rent a movie theater for and invite some friends over. Because you go to the local theater and you give them $200. They show it at like 10:30 in the morning when nobody was there anyway. But I mean, just a freaking masterpiece. So fun, and it's a very funny movie. Like it's like Adam Driver. He's people don't think about him as a comedian, but he's been on Saturday Night Live several times, and he always just kills it. Like he's really great at comedy, and he plays this serious but also over the top. I saw this one review where someone said everyone seems to think they're in a different movie from each other, like they're all playing it differently. And I guess the only one that really applies to is Giancarlo Esposito. He pretty much just plays it normal. Everyone else is really like they understand it. They get it. This is over the top. It's operatic. And so I don't want to spoil anything, but it's the type of movie where suddenly someone can just hold like a functioning Cupid's bow, and like you don't go like what? You just go, yeah, he has it. He went and he got it, and then it's not just like it actually works, and it just totally fits. It's the type of I don't want to do too many spoilers, but it's the type of movie where you don't realize it's science fiction, and then it suddenly is, and you go, oh yeah, it's been science fiction the entire time. I kind of didn't really notice, but it when suddenly it goes very heavy for a couple scenes into the megalon substance, you don't go like, oh my gosh, this totally came out of nowhere. It's just like it's a movie where like you can suddenly, oh, I forgot. I fucking forgot. Caesar Catalina has the ability to stop time. Like, just stop it. And I think he literally says time stop or stop time. And then it just stops. Well, actually, no, it slows for like a second and then it stops. And I saw several reviewers say like, he doesn't do anything with this, but it's symbolism. It's symbolism for being an artist, a creator, and that you have this idea and you make it, and in some way time stops. Like, this is a moment in time that's going to last forever. Now technically it was several years, but you understand what I'm saying. It's all done, it's put out there, and this will never happen again. You're never going to get like this auteur filmmaker who by coincidence had a winery, and now he can borrow against 200 million, which he is definitely going to default against. He doesn't care. He's 85. Although Italians seem to last a while, don't they? I feel like a lot of Italians live to their 90s, like a lot of them. It's something to do with the olive oil. It's the Mediterranean diet, it's called. But yeah, he'll live for 5, 10 more years. He doesn't give a damn. He's not going to pay this shit back. And I'm fine with it. I feel like this has, again, I don't like to talk about like monetary value when it comes to art, but I'll just say that creatively, humanity-wise, this movie has incredible value. I'm so glad it exists. It looks like everyone had just an absolute blast making this. It is so fun. I did get, just like with Joker 2, I got like a little squirmy. Like I started fidgeting in my chair, like in the middle. It feels like every movie these days is 15 minutes too long, just for no reason. So, like I said, it looks like a bunch of his scenes were cut already. If you would have cut him entirely out of the movie, actually, he didn't really have that much time anyway. All of his scenes cut out it wouldn't have even been 5 minutes. But oh, I love this so much. But I don't want to see it on a tablet. I don't want to see it on a plasma. Do people still say plasma? I want to see it in the theater again. And I know this is going to be brought back, but maybe not that often. Yeah, actually, I will say see it when it's on streaming because, realistically, that's the only way that most people are going to be able to see it from now on. But open your heart because you are going to see a movie that, how do I say this? It doesn't do anything to defend itself. It doesn't make any of the safe choices. It almost wants to be ridiculed by how silly it is, but there's something really glorious in its ridiculousness. Yeah, that was a good line, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.